Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I want to share with you guys 3 types of posts that I have been using on Instagram that have brought me tons of engagement. Over the last few weeks, I have been doing a lot of testing, a lot of researching, and a lot of educating myself on the new algorithms that have been going on Instagram and Instagram and Facebook. I found that common thread between all of the information that I've been receiving is transparency is key. Quality versus quantity. The days of posting a million times a day thinking that everybody on your, in your feed is going to see your content is over. So you have to make sure that you're creating valuable content that people actually want to read on social media. The one thing most social media platforms want is for their users to stay on their platforms longer. And so if I'm just creating a post and I'm like, and people are just scrolling through, then if they don't double tap, then people may think that it's not engaging or nobody wants to see it or that nobody really cares about my post. And so now when I'm posting on Instagram, I have to actually go through this process of, being engaging with people. I have to go through this process of, hey, I'm actually going to create a post that people actually like, and it's not going to be just a random selfie that I can put on Instagram. As I've been testing out different types of content, because I'm going through the process of being very transparent with my audience. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's something that you have to do. You have to get over when you're building an engaging community on social media. So I'm going to talk about the 3 types of posts that I have been using on Instagram that have gotten me tons of engagement. So the first type of post that I have been creating is posts about my entrepreneurship process. Now, I know a lot of you guys see people on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and they're posting about their entrepreneurship process and it just seems so fabulous. It's so amazing. And you're like, how can I get to that level of fabulousness? But they don't really share the actual behind the scenes or the craziness or you being in your pajamas when you're shooting a YouTube video and all the things that don't go wrong for that one picture to actually get put up. So I have done the opposite. So instead of sharing all of these amazing and fabulous pictures, style shoots, all that other stuff, I'm sharing the behind the scenes real deal of entrepreneurship, which is not an easy process. And I have found that a lot of people actually like that transparency. They like the fact that it's real, raw, uncut, and to the point. Like, girl, the struggle can be real sometimes. And people like to see that. So that's one of the things, or one of the type of posts that I've gotten tons of feedback, tons of engagement, tons of likes, tons of like, girl, yes, you speaking to my whole life in the post, because I'm giving people what's really going on behind the scenes in entrepreneurship. Letting them know that, hey, this life is not all it's cracked up to be, and there are times where I just want to quit, or there are times but I just don't understand why nothing isn't working, and people want to see that. So being real, giving people a behind the scenes look at whatever you do, what that process is, and letting people know this is what the process really looks like, not this over glamorized life that people see on social media. It doesn't look like that behind the scenes. It look like this. Clearly you can't see the bottom, but I'm in my pajamas. And so, yeah, so share with people what the behind the scenes of your process looks like. Are you a doctor? Are you in college? The struggle is definitely real if you're in college. So I know that struggle. Share the behind the scenes of whatever it is that you do and let people know this is what it really looks like. People love that. The life process, right? So my life is not all yay days and matcha tea. Like, there are real stuff that goes on in my life, as does anyone else. And I feel that a lot of people don't like to share the life process because they don't want people to judge them. Like, if you've probably read the email that got you to this video, that I was afraid to be transparent because I don't want people to judge me. I don't want people to be like, what the heck? Like, why would she do that? But then I was like, I don't care anymore. Like, who cares? Everybody has their own process. Everybody has their own journey, and I'm not going to allow someone else's opinion of me dictate what I do and what I don't do in my business. So the life process is very important. Sharing your trials, sharing your wins, sharing your losses, sharing your struggles, sharing your, not everything, but sharing those things that are common to man. Other people are probably going through the same thing that you're going through, and it's okay to be transparent. Share with people what's going on in your life. If you on Insta stories and your kids in the background acting crazy, then show a glimpse of that. Show what that looks like. People appreciate that. People love to see those things, and you know, they love to see what's going on behind the scenes of your life. And especially if sometimes, I love seeing when people have these awesome and amazing pictures on Instagram, but when you go to their Insta stories, they're like, hair look crazy, kids acting crazy. Like, I love that because it shows that this, you know, front that you see on Instagram is not their life. Their life is really all of the crazy mess that goes on in the background. And I can relate to that because I have crazy mess that goes on in my life. So two crazy messy people, we got a connection right there. So my life process posts are usually consist of, have you ever felt like this, or girl, had this ever happened to you, type of post. Because I know that if I put, have you ever felt like this, most people are like, yeah, girl, now I was waiting for somebody to say that. So have you ever felt like this? Have you ever gone through this? Have you ever experienced this in your life? Those are my life process posts. Number 3 are my life stories. My life stories that have turned into lessons. So I love sharing stories. I love telling stories. And I always make sure that I'm sharing a story that has something to do with the lesson that was learned. Whether it was 2 years ago, whether it was 2 seconds ago, I'm at the grocery store and this guy cut me off and I'm like, do you know who I am? And then he's like, oh my gosh, I'm on my way to the hospital because my son just got in an accident. And you're like, that's a life lesson. Don't be in such a rush all the time because the road does not revolve around you, Brittany. Always make sure that you're being transparent, even in those small lessons that you're learning in your life. Don't be afraid to share them on social media. Don't be afraid to share them on Instagram and give people a sneak peek into your life so they can see what it looks like. Because most of the time, like I said earlier, you're not the only one going through things in your life. And someone may need to hear your story because they may be going through that exact moment and they just can't figure it out, and then they're like, Jesus, this is exactly what I needed to hear. And it gives them a different perspective, and they get a breakthrough from your testimony. So don't be afraid to share your stories. I love to say your stories were never created for you. They were created to show other people that they can make it. God has an amazing story that's already on the inside of you, and He wants you to share it. So don't hold back. Be transparent. Be real. Give people a glimpse inside of your life. And don't be afraid to stand out, be who you are in your voice on Instagram and make it happen. It's okay to be transparent. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to give people a glimpse behind the veil. So I will see you guys on the next post. Peace.